Welcome everyone to Slick Talks. I'm joined today by Tracy, Tammy, Jesse, Steph, and Rogue. Today, and I'm Mike. We're actually wearing an SLCC TV shirt. I'm the new guy in town, so it's kind of my rite of passage. So let's first talk about digital books. Do you think that all colleges should switch over to digital?
Yes, sort of. I just think that it's ridiculous that if you're going to sell a digital book that you can't then reuse the code. Because I work on the help desk and people are always calling in. It's like, well, I bought this digital book, but then I can't use the same code.
Well, see, that's the thing with digital.
Yeah.
Digital, you don't necessarily own it.
Exactly.
You bought it.
Yeah, that's
so,
like.
So, I mean, I guess convenience-wise, it's awesome. I mean, you're never going to use it after the class anyways. Yeah. Me personally, I never even bought the physical textbooks, let alone the digital ones, you know, because you get this professor, they maybe use it the first week, and then the second, third week comes, and you never use it again. So it's like.
And then they ask you to get the books because they say that you'll be using them in the class, and then they never actually do.
I'd have to say I agree with you, Tammy, about saying yes, sort of about it. The whole renting thing. Like, I would gladly rent a digital book and then just have it done with. That's what I did on Chegg for a while. But I do find the need that sometimes you need a physical book. Sometimes there are professors that are like, oh, we're going to use this book. But then, half the time they don't. But like some of them they do, and it actually helps some people. They need a visual book. They need a book to be there and physically have it, which I sort of am. With digital books, though, I find that most professors actually use them, which is pretty nice. The only thing that is a worry that I would say would be the Control F function. Is you sit there and go, it's right there, done, and then you move on. And it's like you're not really learning something, but you are learning something in class. It's just on the assignments. You're not sure if you're really applying that, which is the issue with books, digital books, I'd say.
I would love to use the Control Find into my study session so that I can go back to different chapters and find exactly what I was looking for.
I think
so that I could stay, progressive with whatever topic I was talking about, so that I'd be covering everything in the book on that one topic.
Well, I think the book, like having a physical book and the electronic book work hand in hand. Because if you're reading the book, the physical textbook, then when you're doing the study, you can go through the Control Find. Oh, and then you can find all the examples. Oh, okay, and you see it. Oh, I can see it here. Oh, I can see it here. I can see it here, especially in math. Because math is,
You always need something.
You can always find all the examples of how it can be used. But when you can't use the same code over and over again, especially for computer, when you can't use that same code over and over again, it's ridiculous. You just spent $200.
That's what I'm saying.
That's when it's.
You bought it, but you don't own it.
That's when I
know for my math one, it lasted for about 2 years.
But then you can't sell it to somebody, so
you lose profit on that.
That is what I have a problem with.
The bigger issue for me is the price.
Yeah.
Textbook price.
I
think
it's ridiculous.
I think it'd be much easier to have a conclusion to whether we should go digital or not. It just depends on the price. When the price of books is nearing the price of my tuition, there's a problem. There's an issue. I mean, that's just ridiculous, especially when I go to a class and they rarely use it.
I figured that out the first semester.
Exactly. So I want a refund. I'm like, we barely use this, or we only use it for certain lessons.
So there's a new slick promise about how everyone gets their books and tuition on a need-based scholarship.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. That's all I know about it, actually.
Yeah, I need to know more of it. So.
And so that's why we would tell everybody to go ahead and investigate, right? To this new slick promise that they're doing with grants and with tuition and books and all that stuff, right? Because it'd be some valuable information for everybody to go ahead and look up.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly. But digital, definitely, I think, especially for the next generation that's coming up, that's so used to everything digital, I think, honestly, for me, it'd be the way to go.
And I think there's also probably a little bit of danger with going digital as well. I mean, for me, when I first started here at Salt Lake Community College, for my first semester, I was taking a sociology class, and I had the digital textbook. Only problem is, about 1 month into the class, my hard drive crashed. And I did not have a textbook for about a month until I got everything squared away. I still got it in the class. I was able to borrow my partner's textbook.
You should get a Google Chromebook, because that doesn't crash. Everything is saved onto the internet.
And I think one other issue as well with digital books is that I have some friends that are, computer geeks, and they know how to do like codes and stuff like that. And people will probably end up, coming up with counterfeit merchandise with digital books and selling them, making profit, and stealing these digital books. So what do you guys think about that?
I think that the same things can be done with textbooks, whether you're copying them or getting them through other sources.
Very true. You can
I took
find
this class
anything
last
online.
semester, right?
You just don't want to be on the low end of the situation.
Yeah.
And like I said, my piece of advice, I mean, I'm not trying to skim through life like this, but go to your classes for the 2 weeks, don't get the textbook or the digital book, and wait and see, because the only classes I really needed it, I thought I would need it for, would be like your biology and math, in which I didn't need it either, because my math was online. So, I mean, technically I had to pay for that, though. So, I mean, but that's the thing, we don't want to be on the low end of the situation, and I think the digital era is trying to be good. They just got to kind of critique it a little bit for us, especially as students. I mean, we're not rich, obviously. We're here to make, hopefully, later on in life, get somewhere.
I do have a question about digital books and pricing. If physical textbooks are, what, $150, $200 on average, depending on the new, used, rented, whatever, how much would be a digital book?
Yeah.
They run the same price. That's
Really?
the problem.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And you then don't get to sell it back. It's still.
That's how they're making the profit then.
Yeah,
Because
it's-
I'm sure it doesn't take nearly as much to make something that's not even physical.
I know.
So
It's
That's really odd to me.
licensed.
That would be the same price.
It seems,
Wow.
or maybe it's not, but it seems like it's the same price. It's
It
just.
seemed to
Yeah.
me like it was cheaper.
I have found a few cheaper sources on digital books, like check.com and some other places, but
They still seem ridiculous.
they're cheaper, but at the same time they're in the middle between renting and buying new. So it's either used or digital, and you're just like, well, I might need the physical copy, so I use the used, or there's times where I've just used the digital where I'm like, I'd never use this book at all. So
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
The one time I made out like a bandit, I bought a book used online and sold it back to the bookstore, and I made like a $7 profit. I was like, yes!
Seven.
Like, yes!
there you go.
That was like the best deal. But
Slick also gives cash for books here too.
yeah, that was
They
the.
do.
Buy back at the end of the
The-
semester.
Where do
yeah.
you buy digital books?
I don't know.
Just anywhere? Or
Yeah,
Books, I think
class usually.
Amazon.
Oh,
Amazon,
okay.
the one check place I keep mentioning.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. That'd be
Yes.
awesome for people.
It really, no, I go there all the time. I'm like, oh, there's that book. That's done. Okay, cool. And it comes, and I'm like, great. And then I never return it. I don't rent it from there because I don't want to send it back. Too much work.
Too much work.
Too much work.
Much work.
So I just buy it used or do the digital.
Yeah, those book buybacks are actually pretty nice. I got more than what I thought I would out of those. Let's kind of transition now. Crime.
Well, because you were talking
yeah.
kind of about how
Counterfeit books.
counterfeit books and stuff.
Counterfeit books.
And stuff, but then there's the physical crime that happens on campus and stuff like that. So one of the things that Slick is doing, trying to make employees aware, and and students and stuff. If you see something, say something. So
Also, the highest type of crime rate is property crime.
theft. What are some other things that you see?
Yeah, I agree. Theft is probably a big one, especially at South City campus.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people check out equipment over there for, me and you are communication majors, so we got equipment that's worth more than my vehicle. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
you don't want to leave it in plain sight for them. So I think theft is a really big one as well. So
I always see those signs saying, put it in your trunk, make sure your car's locked. I always see those everywhere. When I'm walking out of the gym, I'm like, there it is.
Yeah, and even then, it probably doesn't stop people, but it's still something like if they can't see it,
Then
and
there's
it's out of
less
sight, they
as
probably
an
won't.
incentive
I mean, my
to
mom's
deter it,
car was
yeah.
broken into because her backpack was in her back seat at work,
Yes.
and someone smashed the window, grabbed it, and ran. If it weren't in plain sight, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been stolen.
yeah.
I try not to leave anything in my car if it's like, I just will take it with me because I don't have a trunk that I can safely
Yeah.
leave it in. So it's why tempt fate.
Jokes on them. I'm a college student.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just put it in the backpack. Joke's on you. I'm a college student. There's nothing
I
here.
had to repair the window, but okay.
Yeah. But
You're right. Don't chance it.
Yeah.
Definitely
I
don't
have. I
chance it.
chance it all the time. I got my baseball bat in my. Now that I think about it, that's in my car right now. My car's not even locked. So speaking of that,
Yeah. If you
$300
leave your
bat's
car
not
on
there.
Crime on campus is just such a bummer. It's supposed to be like a safe zone, you know, for
Yeah.
learning and progressing. And
Everybody's here to learn, get their education, not steal.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately,
it's probably people walking around, don't go to, like you guys said, probably not going to college.
They're just
I
kind of
don't know.
mingling
Or
in
kids,
with the
who knows?
crowd.
Yeah, so.
You can't really tell sometimes. You're just sitting there, oh, they have a backpack. All right, well.
speaking about crime, there's that news story that was happening with a BYU student.
okay, so
That-
that I feel that's going to take a long time to dissect.
Well, it happened in 2014. We're just barely hearing about the story right now. And there's protests going on because she was expelled for doing drugs on campus, and she's saying that she was allegedly raped as well. But they're twisting the story, saying that she is being expelled because she was raped, because she said something.
Well,
See, that's what I heard.
No, they're
was like
saying
that.
so. They're saying she
But I-
violated the honor code, that she would not do anything, that she would not drink or do drugs, but she was the victim of rape because of her
By another
actions
student?
that she was, because of her actions that led up to
Put her into
the
circumstances?
Yeah, she was on
hallucinogenic
hallucinogenic drugs.
that then led her her actions led to her rape, but that, you know, no one should be, you know.
I would like to think that she wasn't expelled for being raped. That
But-
it was
but-
that she should be punished for the hallucinogenic drugs, but for the rape, you have to be a little
Yeah, but that's-
tender with
What
that
happened to the person
situation.
that raped her?
He's still a student.
Well, let me go ahead and ask you guys this. What is consent? Because there's a national debate that goes about it, and there's a lot of social justice warriors that are online that are protesting all these different things. What is consent? Because I have friends in other universities, and they're part of fraternities, and they go out and they party, and now they're being told, well, if one of the parties has ingested alcohol, then they cannot consent. Right? So maybe that's a topic that we can go ahead and touch on next time.
Yeah,
you know,
it's-
because it's a rabbit hole that leads.
It's a very touchy topic, so we'll be sure to talk more on that next time here on Slick Talks. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to catch us next time here on Slick Talks.